Hello and welcome to another over and over and over again review extra time. Football's coming back to North London, Sean. It's coming back, my friend. What's going on today then, Sean? What are we doing, mate? Talk to me.
Hello, everyone. Well, we're going to have a look at what's been happening over the weekend and the game from Friday night, which you and I watched together, which was, I think about as good as we all would have hoped for, in my opinion.
Yeah, we're going to go through. What have we got on the agenda, though, Sean? What do you fancy? Where are we going to go today?
Okay, well, let's have a look at the game on Friday first. What we thought of the new boys coming in. Let's have a look at the next game coming up, which I believe you're going to, aren't you?
Absolutely, mate.
And then we will probably diverge into lots of other different avenues. I don't doubt.
Absolutely. So without further ado, listen, I'm going to put a shout out to everybody that's listening, and thank you so much for taking your time out this evening. Going to talk about a couple of the shows that are coming out on the Over and Over Again network. And number one's the Highbury Matters show tomorrow with Melvin, 8 p.m. This guy is an absolute historical genius when it comes to Arsenal. He's forgotten more than we all know, if I'm honest with you, when it comes to Arsenal. So, one, if you're looking for something a little bit different rather than the usual Twitterati nonsense that we kind of go through, Melvin's the man. Definitely Melvin's the man. The next one is, and I'm gutted that we never thought of this one, is Adam on the Adam, and he's the Arsenal social tomorrow. Thursday. So Thursday's the Arsenal social. That's going to be a real great one where honestly he goes through all of the Twitter feeds. He talks about all of the social media, all of the nonsense that's coming out. I'm going to touch on a few points a little bit later. The other one that's going to be good as well is Friday. All of these are at 8 o'clock, by the way. Rich is going to be running his own opposition view. So we're going to have a Leicester fan coming on and actually going head to head with us, talking about why Leicester, the whole Leicester piece. And I think we want to touch on that as well today, really, because obviously that was an interesting turnaround of events. And then, of course, on Saturday, football's back in North London, mate. Back in North London. The team are going to be playing. We're going to be playing Leicester, and then Rich is going to be running the run along. But so, about no further ado, I want to first off say thank you to your good lady for supplying us with food and stuff as we sat around and had what had to be a very nice opening to the season. And we look back and we look at some of the things that have kind of gone on, and we look about this time last year when we had that Brentford game. How different? I mean, Sean, how different was it? How different was that game?
I mean, you and I talked about it before, didn't we? And we said about how the Palace game did have a whiff of the Brentford game. It kind of, first game of the season, another London club. It had the capability to be one of them first day of the season where everyone can turn around and go, it doesn't matter. It's a long season. Hi, Melvin. How you doing?
Hi, Melvin.
It had the capability of a real banana skin about it. We sat down in my garden, didn't we, to watch it with my wife Bobby and Luke, and obviously it wasn't comfortable, but I don't think it ever was going to be. Anybody thinking it was going to be never watched Crystal Palace play football. I think that there were things that need improving, obviously. But being first day of the season, I'd say there was some nerves. But there was, for me, the standout is Saliba's debut. And I would say Zinchenko looked absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he obviously ran out of steam towards the end. And I know the guys have gone over it, but there's 2 or 3 things that I think really came to mind. And as I've been thinking about it over the last few days, when I look at that game, I look at the energy, the positivity in the first 20 minutes. I just thought to myself, oh my God, this is like unbelievable, unstoppable. I mean, Jesus all over the place, Martinelli, all of that sort of bit that was going on in Zinchenko going through, actually down that left-hand side, and there was no more Saka ball anymore, was there? There was no more, let's just kick it to Saka, let's just kick it over the top to Saka, let's kick it over the top to Saka. And the other one as well that you and I thought very odd was that right wing with White on there. Didn't really get that. Seen as a central mid, but you've got to look at that. You've got to look at Zaha and say there are loads and loads of people out there. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that would have problems trying to stop Zaha, and I thought he did quite well. I don't want to see him there though, to be honest with you. But my heart says I don't want to see him. And you know, to the negativity of the Arsenal fans on Twitter about how much we hate Ben White. Get over yourself, you muppets! Like seriously, he went in there and stopped one of the most difficult players. You know, so much so Chelsea are looking at him right now. Called it if we look at the sort of interest that's going on at this moment.
So
I thought he
what's
played
the
well.
issue with Ben White? I don't understand. I mean, I'm never massive on players playing out of position.
No.
How far out of position is he really? I mean, it's not massive. I mean, it's not like we put him up front. I thought he did a brilliant job. If you looked at the Opta stats over the course of the weekend, he actually had the most successful tackles and interceptions of any player.
Yeah.
So
I had
he also was against a player that's well known for getting penalties and getting people sent off. And seeing that he is apparently out of position, I thought he did rather well. I think it also, more importantly, one of the main complaints that's been had that when we were going last season, we could see was the lack of depth in certain areas. So when Tomiyasu was injured at times last season, you had a lottery in who was going to be taking that position. And when they did, they were either out of position or even if it was their position, they just went up to it. And, you know, we watched as that kind of thing made the season unravel because it's morally destructive. It is demoralising for a player to have to play out of position and then get absolutely skinned all day. I thought he did really well. I thought that, like I said, when Tomiyasu's back and you've also got a second right back in Ben White, you've also got competition for the centre-back places.
Yes.
You know, defensive, first and foremost, you don't concede goals, you don't lose.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go back to some of the great managers of all time and they all follow the same principle to begin with. Don't concede goals. Mm-hmm. So if you look at, obviously, one of the massive Arsenal names, George Graham.
Yeah.
What was the big thing about them? They didn't concede goals. You know, I appreciate that the game has changed in a lot of ways. And obviously, I think there's more emphasis on the offensive way of playing today. But football's not changed that much. It's still the same game. You keep holding the ball, the other side can't score.
It's very basic, really, isn't it?
It is basic, but if you can pass the ball, you're very rarely going to get beaten. I mean, it was 82% pass accuracy for Arsenal the other night. And I think in a game away from home, that is a good stat and said a lot about the game. And for the fact that Ben White had the most interceptions in tackles over the weekend that's successful, that also says a lot about the game. Palace were trying to go down his side a lot.
Yes. Yeah, that long ball. Again, that long ball over the top again. That wasn't a random thing. That was a planned, that was focused. And it did catch us out a couple of times, I have to say.
It was the wrong thing to do because really, they should have gone down Zinchenko's side because he was the one bowling forward. Hi there, Terry.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Totally get that. So I just think for the first 20 minutes, the balance of the team looked absolutely amazing. Then we had that middle period through the game. And if you look at the possession stats actually between Crystal Palace actually, if you looked at the game, Crystal Palace should have won that. They should have actually won that. So shots on goal, exactly the same. The accuracy, actually, their pass accuracy was better than us. I think. I also thought Odegaard had a bit of a quiet game. And I'm not sure if it's first game blues, whatever happens, however that kind of fits. It's in it. But our back four looked really good. And I think Zinchenko did exceptionally well. And I think Kieran Tierney also upped his game and actually showed the quality that he's got by coming in. I know he's been injured. I know he's been training hard. And I know he's back in there. But actually, we look like a solid unit at the back. Where I think Yeah,
you can't, like I said, if you don't concede, you don't lose, and ultimately that's what first day season's all about. Anybody who watched the Liverpool-Fulham game, obviously, at the end of the day, Fulham game was torrid time, but they didn't lose. Losing the first game of the season is, I'm sure Aston Villa and Manchester United will come to later, can testify to. It's a big deal. And away at Palace had the capability of being that banana skin, like I said. But I think that game last season, if you played that game last season and you played that game the season before, Arsenal lose that. There was two gilt-edged chances for Palace, wasn't there? A good Ramsdale save, where it had the detriment effect to them, where that lost them the game, really. I personally don't think Palace were good enough to be in it. Melvin Odegaard went missing. I didn't notice him much. It's strange how different two positions can be. So Odegaard, you didn't notice him, which means, as you say, he
weren't doing much.
Gabriel didn't notice him, but that, as a centre back, that means, wait a minute, he was doing everything right.
Yes.
Eddie McGoldrick, is that the actual Eddie McGoldrick? If it is,
respect here. Can I have a signed shirt? Yeah.
Former Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and Republic of Ireland legend. Anybody that watched football in the 90s will remember his penalty against Sampdoria in the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final. Maybe the worst penalty in the history of football. That ball is still travelling out there. Yes, it is. It is the real Eddie McGoldrick. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to take your word for it, Eddie. I know you wouldn't lie to me.
Excellent. See, legends. Yeah, legends on here. Legends on. But it's a good one actually. The other part that I thought was interesting is that we've got five. We got the opportunity to rotate 5 in, subs in, and we're into 85 minutes before we did our first substitutions. Still says to me that I think we're a bit thin on the ground. I know we've got Vieira's injured, and I know we've got Smith Rowe injured, because I've got a feeling that he would just would have rotated straight out with Odegaard a bit sharpish.
Do you know what? Is it not a thing that maybe it wasn't being done properly before? I think substitute. What was the minute you said they were the first substitution?
I think it's 85th. It was. I think it was the 85th minute.
If things are going okay, I don't see that as that big a deal. And they were going okay. All right, Palace scored an own goal. Own goals can be subjective, because you can turn around and go, "Oh, I would have did it for you," or Arsenal didn't score that goal. However, if that player doesn't head that ball,
that was Saka's brilliance to land it off his arse. No, I think he did that on purpose. I've got to say. The best one. Listen. The best one for me was the Martinelli goal, because obviously he missed beforehand. Also, the other one is, can someone actually give Odegaard some shoot on goal tips as well? Because if you're in front of goal, put your fucking laces through it. That's going to go in the back of the net.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. That seemed like the ghost of the old Arsenal.
That's it.
Let's see if we can pass the ball into the back of the net, and then once in the back of the net, possibly down. To the next stadium. I don't know. I think Odegaard, to be fair, what I would say about Odegaard is he's brilliant at shooting from range, but do you really want to see Odegaard in and around the box?
Yes, I want to see 10 Arsenal players in and around the box smashing that bastard ball in the back of the net and absolutely causing pain.
I'd rather be seeing Odegaard picking passes from the edge of the penalty area D.
No, I
don't think we're not looking at a Jesus style character there. Plus Odegaard is at best when building from just after the centre circle. So it was a strange decision, just poor decision.
Look, running in on goal, put your laces through it. Yeah. Oh well. Let me just. I want to hold on Ramsdale. Actually, I want to hold on Ramsdale. I just want to go back to Gabriel Jesus. I want to go on something going on with Gabriel Jesus. So I'm seeing. It's really funny. I saw. I was tweeted. Someone tweeted to me. Turned around and said, he didn't score on his, on his debut. He didn't score on his debut. Haaland did. I mean, Jesus. Did you see Haaland's second goal? That man is frightening. frightening. Turn of pace. Just a turn. Go on, mate. Where do you go with that? No, it's not. No, it's not. I think he's an amazing, and a freak. As we said, he's a Usain Bolt. He's like, he shouldn't actually be doing what he's doing. He's so young. The way
if everything goes correctly, so
he'll play for Arsenal.
Well, I never know, but injuries are kind, and I think plausibly, I know it's an early shout, but you could be looking at what will end up the best striker the Premiership's ever seen.
I agree. I totally agree with you. But the other part is, I say, I got tweeted. So I got tweeted that, Haaland scored on his debut and this, that, and the other, and Jesus didn't. And what does that make of? We've spent all this money on Jesus and all that. And I thought he played exceptionally well. I thought he gave us something that was so unique, so special.
Do they know that City sold Jesus to Arsenal?
Yes, I think they do. And this was an apparent quote Arsenal fan. Yeah, he said, "Well, we could have got Haaland for the same price." I don't think the 750,000 or whatever it is a week. People that tweet and write things like that are an advertisement for abortion. It's just
wow. The things that they have to say are purposely inflammatory. Okay?
Yes, I know. I get that.
Jesus didn't score in his debut. If Arsenal don't win, all right, fine. Jesus hasn't done his job, but Arsenal did win. Now, one of the reasons why Arsenal scored their first goal was one. Clearly training ground perfection, I would have said. Two, Jesus is actually what they're mainly watching at that point. You can see the Palace defenders have all got an eye on where he's going.
Yeah.
Three, Zinchenko makes that goal.
Yes.
He with one, his movement. Two, because Jesus, if I remember rightly, actually goes and stands on the byline.
Yeah,
and then comes back and he pulls all the defenders out of the
defenders
way.
Out, big hole in for Martinelli, and away it goes, making up for
Martinelli,
mistakes.
Everyone's favourite Velociraptor lookalike.
Yeah, so it's a great advertisement for the 80s mullet. So when I look at the interplay between those three and potentially forward Saka coming in on that, I think that's devastating. And do you know what? I don't particularly care where the goals come from as long as the goals keep coming. Okay, and that's all that matters.
I do.
Jesus, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, mate. Listen, it's going to happen.
It's
going to happen.
That's not. I don't. Saying Haaland didn't score in his debut. Well, Community Shield did. Haaland scored in his debut. Sorry, Community Shield did happen the week before, and we all know he had a stinker. Now, you and I actually had a chat with the person we were watching the game with, Luke, who turned around and said, not sure Haaland's going to do very well in this country. And you and I just looked at him like, have you been sniffing the Bostic? Are you all right? Have you watched him play before?
He's a Chelsea fan. So let's not pay any attention to him. But so look, I know it's been talked about quite a bit this game, so I kind of want to wrap it up. So in it, I just think
the Ramsdale thing.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Ramsdale thing. So obviously we had Ramsdale pulled off some like that. The Edouardson should have scored, and what a save! It's 2 or 3 amazing world-class saves from that goalkeeper. But oh my God, was someone teaching him to hit the ball straight? Oh, there was that Martinelli was spinning off. He went to pass it, and he basically we had Palace on us all over from the miss kick from him, and this is quite common. And I know it goes on, and so, everybody can look at all the other top goalies at Man City and Liverpool, everybody else, and they all go through the same process, right? That heart in the mouth moment. But I felt at that point after that happened, and we talked about it because I was buzzing, and then you kind of turned, and then I kind of was on one of those downers because the defense did then for some reason were totally the nerves were shot to pieces, absolutely shot to pieces at the end of it.
I think this is one of these things. So okay, if you talk about Edison, you talk about Alisson, the 2 top goalkeepers in the Premier League. The whole thing comes from that they'll concede maybe 2 or 3 goals a season where they lose the ball in possession or they don't play play a ball out to strike.
Agreed.
It's the amount of goals that they will participate in or stop over the course of the season is worth those 3 goals. However, one of the key things with any team is not so much what you're good at, but it's knowing what you're bad at. So in this example, Aaron Ramsdale is predominantly right-footed. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not. Don't get me wrong. He's not like Peter Shilton. He's not like got no feet. He can play a ball, but he's not comfortable when a striker is running at him. Now, rather than going, well, he'll
lump
get better at it. Like, no, don't treat it like that. So, for example, if he is better on his right foot, fine. If the ball's coming to him from the right, fine, that's okay. If the ball's coming to him from the left, whoever's playing left centre back and whoever's playing left back should immediately be giving him options, because that's the problem. Is he's being made to think quicker than he can with his feet.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
yeah, that's what you're watching. Because the thing is what Palace were doing was not. I mean, we're not talking about like sort of Reiners Michaels, Dutch 74 style football. They were just pressuring a goalkeeper that is going to be difficult on one side. So I think it's as simple as that. You just go, well, look, it's not great on that side. That's fine. When it comes to that, then, distribution has to be offered to him rather than going, oh, well, it'll be all right. Because it won't be all right. It won't. And for lack of other option, if that's the one thing that's wrong with his game, fine. Let the team collectively make that work. Otherwise, well, it won't get better. That won't get better. That's not something that you can fix. He's not suddenly going to become Romario.
Okay. Yeah, or Buffon or whatever. But look, listen.
Buffon was crap with his feet.
Oh, get out, man! Come on.
He was.
Yeah, but he's amazingly handsome, so it makes up for it with that Mediterranean flair.
No, I can't.
So look. The bottom line is, for me, I think it was a 6 to 7 out of 10. And I know that sounds really weird, and I know that sounds odd. I just think first 20 minutes, oh my Lord, if we can sustain that for 90, which you can't at that pace, I thought that the interplay between the two, it was too much. It was too much for them. Crystal Palace, I think.
Solid 6.
Yeah, solid 6, maybe a 7. I just think Crystal Palace are going to cause all sorts of problems for Premiership teams. Like seriously, it's a really, really good. They're a good team. And that unit, I can't remember the guy's name, but they brought him on at the end. Oh my, he's frightening. He more looked like a heavyweight boxer than he did a football player. There's a new striker that they brought. I can't remember the guy's name. He was 6'4" or something.
Something like that. I mean, I think Palace will have a Palace season, which is they'll give big clubs problems and they'll lose to some absolutely shocking clubs.
Yes, there we go. Mateta, that's the one. Thanks, Eddie. Right. Yeah, well, scary looking guy. But I've got to say,
fella. Or as they say, he's a big fella.
I've got to say,
he's a big fella.
Right, I'm not even going to go into the accents, but I've got to say, for me, Saliba absolutely bossed him. It was like silky smooth, dealt with it, just went into it, did what he had to do. Absolutely great debut. Great debut.
What you saw there was a prime example of how the loan system can work.
Yes. On that point, I'm going to share something with you. Actually, again, I was tweeted by somebody the other day. They turned around and said to me, now that Nuno Tavares, the very one that scorned Nuno Tavares, now he's left Voldemort's clutches. I kid you not. Now he's left Voldemort's clutches, right? Now we're seeing the real Tavares. Like, seriously. We talked about this last week. Marseille. Yeah, Marseille, wasn't it? Yeah, and he scored against...
known for their white and white record.
Yeah. So he scored against Rennes this weekend. I think he scored. I can't remember what it was. These guys are turning around and saying that actually what we have is a great player. He's out on loan. That kid will never play for Arsenal again. Like I just sort of like, there's just no way he's going to be better than Zinchenko. But I think inside there is a good player there. There's no doubt about it. We took a punt and off he goes. So I thought that was really funny. Yeah, I thought. Mate, going forward,
Marseille like him. Let's hope he has a good season there, and then we can sell him.
Give us 20 million. Yeah, give us 20 million. We'll be happy with that.
20 quid. Fuck him off.
So all right, whatever.
Waste of wages.
So Torreira, I mean, that's harsh. That's really harsh. But yeah, Torreira's gone to Galatasaray. I find that a weird one. But look, I wish him the best of luck.
He loves a fight. He loves to tear up. So Galatasaray is probably right for him.
So I do wish him the best of luck. But sorry, hang on a sec. I think Melvin's saying, and I've got to show this to Arse, Steve. Sorry, mate. I can't see Zinchenko being dropped for Tavares. I believe there's a good player there, mate. And I can't see Tierney. I can't see him beating. He's been given a chance. I think going out on loan is going to do him the world of good. But I think that's a shop window for him, mate. We've got to move him on. I just get some money.
It's ultimately you actually don't do the lad any favours in the end.
No. I'm not being horrible, and my lasting memory of him is the knee slide onto the AstroTurf as he went base over apex on that. That was the best one ever. But look, great win, brilliant debut by Zinchenko, brilliant debut by Jesus, brilliant debut by Saliba. A lot to see. I still think from an injuries perspective, I still felt that we were a bit light, hence the reason for the late substitutions. I also feel, as Melvin said, that Odegaard went missing, and I don't know whether it's the captaincy first game, ring rust, whatever that is. We've got a big game coming up on Saturday, and I thought we'd just have a little chat about that now.
Yep.
What do you think? So Leicester, here we go, mate. Leicester, your favourite manager, manager coming to the Emirates.
Fucking Q-head. I mean. On Easter Island.
I can't say what Sean said. Like honestly, on Friday, I can't say what he said about him. Like literally on this podcast, we'd be banged up. But he's not a lover of him. He's not a lover of him. But anyway,
listen. I don't. It's not. I don't respect the guy, even though I don't. But he's.
No one does.
Yeah, like I said, even his mum turns his pictures around. He's kind of, if you don't get the best out of him, whatever you get in the first 2 years, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. After that, you may as well fire him because it's just not going to happen. Leicester are finding out right now that staleness happens very quickly with Brendan Rodgers, which I think he's on his third wife, isn't he? I'm not sure. Anyway, let's not get into his private life. But it seems a lot of players seem to get the ump with him in the end as well. I mean, I'm surprised by Kasper Schmeichel moving on, I must admit. I don't really understand because I think that lots of clubs he could have gone to. That are bigger than Nice, with all due respect to Nice. I felt that there was probably quite a few clubs in this country that would have taken him, I would have thought.
Yes,
but don't know. Kasper Schmeichel kind of seems evergreen, doesn't he? I think we forget how old he actually is.
Yeah, but the other part to it, so the flip to that is, as we start to look at that, Eddie
McGoldrick's is harsh. I'm not sure what he's referring to. If it's to Brendan Rodgers, then I don't take it back.
It's lambasting Mr. Rodgers. I think just from a Leicester perspective, it was 2-2 with Brentford, wasn't it? They ended up.
Yeah, they were 2-0 up.
Yeah, so I think that tells you everything about how the team playing. They're missing Calvert-Lewin. They've got no firepower up front. Now, I don't believe it's going to be an easy game. I don't believe it's going to be. Oh no, it's Everton. Sorry, my apologies. I need more wine. I'm drunk enough. So I don't believe that as a team they haven't got going yet. They haven't got going. But it's not going to be an easy game. They never are.
They had 2 years of fifths, didn't they? Where on the last day they lost fourth place on both occasions. That seems to kick the stuffing out of them. And last year they had a bit of a nightmare season where, you just at the moment they currently are one of them teams you don't know what you're going to get. Because if they turn up, they are a good side. They can feasibly give a game to absolutely anyone. They can also stifle, which over the last couple of years at the Emirates is something that has been a big problem. When teams come to stifle. Yeah, that's been an issue. That's why the money's been spent for Jesus, because to try and stop teams from doing that. to Arsenal.
No more Burnleys. Let's not have another Burnley moment, please. Let's not talk about that. Yeah,
I'm still not over that.
So I think
back, Steve.
Oh no, mate. I think please, yeah. I think tactically, we need to be quite sharp because they will come at us. I don't, you know.
Yeah, for all I've said about Brendan Rodgers, he's not a mug. He's been, you know, he was Liverpool manager. He was a very good manager at Celtic, and you know the guy knows what he's doing. He does know, like I say, he does know how to stifle another side. So
yeah,
got to be careful on that one. That game really requires out of the blocks start. You know, first home game of the season. Get an early goal, or even better, get an early couple of goals. I think Leicester will fall a bit. Plus, having drawn 2 all the weekend, because Brentford scored with 4 minutes to go, and by all accounts, for 60 minutes, it was one-way traffic. So for Leicester to let a 2-goal slip at home, I mean, teams can react one or two ways, can't they? You know,
they can,
They'll either come back having feeling a bit embarrassed at home. Some teams, when they're having a bit of a mare, you know, the previous season, they actually prefer being away from home. You know, the fans get on their back. I must admit, I've never been to Leicester's ground, so I don't know what their fans are like.
So I remember a couple of times, especially when they. I do remember the Danny Welbeck goal. And we'll talk about Danny Welbeck. We are going to talk about Danny Welbeck. We're definitely going to be talking about Danny Welbeck. I remember the Danny Welbeck goal when Leicester won the Premier League. We were the only team to beat them both home and away. I mean, their fans were absolutely brilliant. They really were. But again, you know, we did beat them. So,
I mean, they were winning the league that year. And, you know, I actually think they would be good. I mean, I've never been to the where they currently play now, the King Power. I went to Filbert Street years ago, but I remember them being quite rambunctious then. But they.
So what are you thinking? What are you thinking score-wise, guys? Come on, what are you thinking?
Me personally, I think 3-1 Arsenal. I think the goals. I think it'll be a quick start. I think Leicester maybe will come back into it, make it 2-1, and then it will finish 3-1. If anybody else, if they let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know what scores you think or why you think that. We'd be interested to hear it. But like I said, I think erring on the side of positivity. Genuinely believe that they'll take it to Leicester, and Leicester won't have enough for them. What do we think? Do we think Youri Tielemans will be picked, or do we think that it will be one of them classic transfer moves of players?
No, he's going to be. He's going to be picked. He's going to be picked. So current. So what I'm seeing from a gossip perspective, as I've been looking out today, is apparently we're going to try and sign a pre-contract with him. He's got a year to go. We're going to try and get him on a free when the time comes in, which I think is
try the Arsenal technique.
Yeah, I just see. We'll give him £4 and one, 41 quid or whatever it is, to try and get past him. No, I think again, I think we missed
30 million, wasn't it?
Yes, 30 million. I think he would be a great addition, especially if we get a Xhaka or a Partey injury, which is going to happen. I know you don't rate him. I know we talked about this. I genuinely believe that he would be a good addition to our team.
I think he's a really good player. Listen, the guy is a great player, but I'm always concerned about those 3 little words on his day. Because what Arsenal need right now is they've got some good players in there who can give stellar performances. You need your 7 out of 10s. You need your consistent performers who won't let you down every week, regardless.
But that's an interesting one. When you look at Zinchenko, you look at Jesus, right? You look at those players, right? They're Premier League ready. They understand it, and that showed. I believe that genuinely showed. So I genuinely believe that actually showed. So hang on. It's an interesting question there, actually, from Eddie. Let me just put that in. So is he better than Zinchenko? I think he's a different player, if I'm honest with you. Tielemans, yeah. I think he's a different player on there.
No,
and for me, he's...
not.
Well, for Well, no, I think for me, it's actually having depth of squad. And I think that if we look at Friday, what happened on Friday, and that, do you bring on Pepe for Saka, for instance? No, you don't. Of course, you don't. Partey, Thomas Partey, as we know, is we got to actually
He's made a good point there. He's saying in midfield, is he better than Zinchenko?
Yes, I believe in midfield he would be. Yes, I believe he would be.
3 little words on his day, he is. But who do you think is going to give you the more consistent performance more times a season? I think you'd say Zinchenko.
5-0. I've got one of my Terry, you're a ledge, mate. Straight up, 5-0.
Leicester are absolutely rubbish. Rodgers lost to whatever he had.
Gambling. He's obviously got a gambling problem or something like that. No, I could go. So go back to Eddie's question, right? Is Tielemans better than Zinchenko midfield? I believe he is, because I believe he's going to. I think from a defensive, like that holding midfield player with the capability to do a little bit of the party role, I think he's going to do it better than Zinchenko. If I'm honest with you, I would like to be proved.
Not seen much of Zinchenko doing that, so I can't honestly comment. But I think, like I said, if Zinchenko was to find himself in that role often, I think the one who would give you most consistent performances over the course of a season would be Zinchenko. Who's the better player in midfield outright? It's Tielemans. That's his position. Yeah. That's what who's going to give you a stellar performance? Yeah, probably Tielemans. But will he give it? For over 70% of the season? Don't know.
So, but hang on a sec. Though. Terry's saying 5-0. Loving Terry right now, mate. Loving him. Big fan. Yeah. Football's coming back to North London. I cannot wait. I genuinely, Sean, cannot wait.
5-0 is genuinely plausible. If they start well, if Arsenal start well,
if we start though, if we can keep the pace that we did for about 40 minutes, we did at Crystal Palace, I just think it'll be over and done with in the first half. Very similar to what we did to Tottenham at the when they last came to the Emirates. Just wanted to highlight that,
Did you see their game?
So yeah, I did actually watch their game. So here's the other one. It's a shit refereeing yet again. Right, that's the other point I thought we just come on. I cannot believe that we've started another. Well, I can actually believe we started another season, another VAR bullshit. With Martinez, clear push. There was just a clear push on Welbeck. And that the absolutely disgusting challenge in that Tottenham game. How the hell was that not a red card? Someone tell me how that wasn't a red card. You do a scissor kick on that. You got McTominay as well, like over and over and over and over again. That the Neanderthal keeps doing this to players. He's going to break someone's leg one day and actually put them out. And God knows we've had enough players going in. But when I look at actually that 2-footed nasty sliding tackle, just absolute bloody disgrace. I'm sorry. In the Tottenham game.
The official ruling as to why it wasn't a red card was because studs were not shown.
Oh, okay. So my apologies. So just break someone's fucking leg. Just make sure you keep your feet down when you do it. I just think it's this disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. And so and Martinez push on Welbeck. How was that not a penalty? How did VAR actually look at that and say, "Oh no, that's all right"?
Yeah, I felt that was a penalty. I thought that. He just doesn't touch the ball at all. That's the bit for me. He doesn't touch the ball at all. So how is it not a penalty? If he's impeded the player in the penalty area without touching the ball at all, and not even changing direction of the ball, anything like that, has literally nothing. I don't know. That wasn't a push.
It was a time. Yeah, I don't know what it was. If it wasn't a push, but I look at
it. Danny might be right in the sense that he makes a lot of it, and that might have been his downfall.
So, how about the McTominay challenge? How was that not a red?
Remind me of that one.
So McTominay came in on the ankle. I can't remember what the player was. Nice, as he always does. Nasty little challenge. Vindictive, vicious and nasty. Was a real leg breaker. Not really sure how that wasn't a red.
You've described him like he's Jeffrey Dahmer.
It was, yeah.
It's that kind of player. You've got them all over the league. I mean, John McGinn's like it. You've got players like that are roughhouses, and I mean they are a little bit of a throwback, I suppose, is one of the words people say about them. I don't particularly mind them, if I'm honest. I quite like a bit of the roughhousing still going on, but. The only problem with having those players inside is they will get, Xhaka, right? They will get sent off at a moment when you really don't need it.
Yeah, and Xhaka's card, that was an interesting one. That's kind of
dive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a dive, whatever it was. But you look at the stat, but exactly the same as exactly the same. Hold on. I'm just having a look at this.
Yeah, it's saying he made the push from Martinez. Danny Boy's saying that he made a lot of it and just rolling over, and that's the problem. Is that if it doesn't look natural, and the ref probably isn't going to give it. VAR could have maybe intervened.
Yeah, I was going to say. I see. I get what you're saying, Danny. On that, with the ref actually coming in and let me just put that out. So I see what Danny's saying in that one, but I'm sorry. How many times I've seen Harry Kane do it in an England shirt and Harry Kane do it in a Tottenham shirt? Or Son. Son doing it as well. So there are.
There's a fine line between playing for it, isn't there, and it being borderline and ridiculous. So we were slightly behind on this for years about. On the continent, they were very saw that it's intelligent play in winning a penalty, almost like a chess move, whereas we see it as being dishonest. I think it's still err on the dishonest side, but
it's the lack of continuity, I think, is what's annoying me. It's a general lack of continuity.
I get less angry with refs now because of the technology offered. Because I feel that I've always been I didn't want VAR to begin with, but at the same time, I knew that once it was there, it becomes a thing that the genie's out of the bottle. So it's not going away now. In terms of do you want every single decision to be correct 100%? Because if you do, it's probably best to go and watch another sport.
But the again, it goes back to what we were saying. Is that there's a fun? Is that Zola? Say hello to Zola.
Zola,
Zola the cat, old pinhead. It's just that I've got all of my cats wandering around at the minute. There's a couple of things. I think it's continuity in the refereeing across there. So, which I find annoying. I think, as I say, I think that two-foot tackle.
Will you ever really get that? I mean, how many? So you've got 10 games in a weekend, right?
Yeah.
So 10 different referees with 20 different linesmen and fourth official, whatever the fuck they do. And the guy that stands on the line is just dicking around, literally stealing a living.
Free ticket to the game, isn't it? It's just get a free ticket to go and watch the Premier League game. Yeah.
Just stick a high vis on him. He could be another steward for all that he does. Are you ever going to get consistency with that amount of different people and their interpretation of rules? I don't think it's possible. I think you can get there and thereabouts.
Yeah.
I am a defender of officials. I don't mind saying.
I'm not. I'd like to take a bow and arrow to them.
Yes, and we have spoken before about that A, you are not allowed to bring medieval weaponry to the ground, and B, even if you were, you probably shouldn't shoot the officials with it.
The Lido.
It's I think they have a job that I think most people couldn't do.
I know. Okay, so I kind of get where you're at. I still think there's a couple of tackles that are actually quite nasty. So I'm sorry, Dan, I've got to go against you on this one. McTominay's was quite nasty. The I can't remember who it was. The Tottenham player with a two-footed tackle, absolutely disgusting. Should have been sent straight off. That was a straight red. End of story. Because that is, we've seen it with.
My understanding, 2 feet or studs or no studs was always going to be.
Yeah, 2 feet going in. But generally, so the interesting one was for me was the Liverpool game. I'm seeing a lot of tweets. So I was watching Liverpool game and they look lackluster. If I'm honest with you, they just genuinely look very lackluster, very fast. A team that's done us time and time again. And I'm seeing
out of the blocks though. They were out of the blocks.
I think if anybody underestimates Fulham, especially us, when they come up to the Emirates to see us, if we underestimate them this season, we're going to have real problems. We need to be very careful how we do it. We need to go at them, not be scared of them. But one thing that I found very interesting was a number of tweets from Liverpool fans turning around and saying, "Klopp out." Like
what? Who is saying that?
I kid you not. It's like bin dipper at scouser.com or whatever it was. Klopp out. Seriously. It's a lot of them trending. They actually want to get rid of old shiny teeth himself. Like, I just don't understand it. Why would one team?
I don't have no.
Although I did find it funny that he come around and said that the pitch was too dry. I thought that was quite a funny one.
I mean, I wish he wouldn't do it. I don't particularly.
He's deflecting, isn't he?
I don't dislike Klopp. I actually quite admire him, but it really doesn't suit him when he whines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems very odd. Yeah, there's some managers that do whine, and you're kind of like, well, yeah, that's what they do. We all remember Ferguson with, always deflected from the players, and Jose Mourinho. They're well known for it so often. Yeah, they did it so often. Sometimes it worked, because it took pressure off the players or pressure off of his squad and put it on him instead. It's like, fine, okay, there's something quite admirable in doing that. But I don't know, Jurgen Klopp, you always kind of think this is really, you're above that. You're better than that. As for the actual game of Fulham, I watched it. Listened to the first half on the radio and then watched the second half. And what a belter of a game! And it was a proper first day of the season game as well.
Blood and guts.
Sun was absolutely blazing.
Belting down. Yeah.
Mitrovic, he is going to be doing his best to prove everyone wrong that he is Premiership quality. As for Fulham, I think it's going to be. It's going to be like a man in his late 50s or 60s. It's whether they can keep it up.
Well, behave yourself. Like, it's nothing. Yeah, it's got nothing. Yeah, just behave yourself. Mid 50s. Yeah.
It's whether they can keep up that momentum,
that pace. That pace. But I'd say we're getting them early in the season when they're full of energy and they're full of drive, and it's actually nice to watch Liverpool struggling.
Don't get treated like that often.
No, you don't. You don't see him getting battered that way.
I tell you what, said I wouldn't mind seeing him leave Liverpool. Well,
or teeth. Yeah, good. But look, listen, I got to take my hat off to Fulham. They played exceptionally well. Really did. Very strong. Lot of pace. Maybe first game of the season, bit of a Brentford to them. I got a feeling that they'll taper off. Got to talk about.
Leicester, isn't it?
Yeah, got it. Yes, it is. So hopefully they get a couple of beatings. The next, obviously, for me, the game that we need to look at and we need to really talk about, which I found hilarious, and I'm just going to say a tweet that came out. You know where I'm going with this. I got a tweet. You heard it here first, right? Tagged in this one. You heard it here first. I don't want to take away from Adam's show because this is just the whole thing is comedy genius. You heard it here first. Martinez is going to be the best defender in Manchester United's history.
I mean, he might be.
Let that sink in. For 1 minute. I've got to say, slow start. I'm not seeing it right now.
The lad's not a bad player. I've watched him previously now.
No, he's not.
He has gone to an absolute hotbed of. That's a difficult one. So, I mean, you and I have been through this quite a few times, obviously off show, but I always maintain that. The only key difference between Arsenal and Manchester United is that 3 years ago, Arsenal stopped and went, we need to address where we are, we need to be honest about where we are, and then we start again. Whereas United are still trying to behave like a top two side.
Yes.
Still thinking that they're just in touching distance of the promised land of the Champions League when currently they're nowhere near. And
no, of course.
while they don't stop, Liverpool had to do it about 10, 12 years ago when they brought Dalglish in for the second time. What people don't realise of what Dalglish did was actually he went, right, clear the decks, start the youth system again, make sure that all that's being run correctly. And lo and behold, within 10 years, if you make sure that the club is being run correctly from bottom to top, you will start to see the fruits of your labour. Yeah. And they did, whether it both be financially because there's players that you can sell straight off because they've come from the youth system. So from a financial fair play point of view, that is straight in the black. And also the fact that you've got great players coming through making competition for places. And the key thing with any football squad is competition for places. Now, Manchester United and a lot of fans refuse to acknowledge where they are right now, and where they are is
mid-table,
6th or 7th, and no better. They still had the money in the pool to buy Ronaldo, but look at that, they've even made him.
He's going.
Well, they've made him something that nobody wants to buy. They have, because he spent a year there, and this time last year, right?
Yeah.
There would have been lots of clubs that wanted his signature.
Yeah, of course.
Lots of clubs that would have wanted him in the door. Look at it now.
Sean, what do you think it says about Arsenal, though? Like, at the end of the day, because there's a lot of Arteta outers already, and it's already started. Like, I'm seeing it, and I know Adam's going to touch on that. There's a lot of Arteta outers and all this. What do you think it says about? Because when all the nicknames like Eric, 10 games, Tin Hat, Phil Mitchell, they got a whole load of Phil Mitchell EastEnders things that are going around, these memes on it. What does it actually say about what's actually happened at Arsenal? Because I think, I've always been an Arteta liker. So I know Rich and I have had many arguments over this. Not arguments. Rich and I don't argue. We have
difference of
conversations. Yeah, difference of opinion sits in there, and I kind of believe that. When I saw the takeover, when those takeover bids, the guy from Spotify, when he came in and everybody was going, it's Kroenke out. There was never any substance behind it. And I think it was just, personally, I think it was just a bit of bullshit to get some more Spotify licenses. I never came, hold on a sec. I never came across any substance that sat behind it. They rolled out Vieira, they rolled out Henry, and don't get me wrong, I fucking worship those guys. But I never saw any substance behind what the bid was. And the Kroenkes have actually come in and they've given him the money in the right way. And you say, we're getting rid of some of the dross, we're sort of moving that out. We're doing all of that kind of stuff that's sitting there. And now we've got Man United, biggest brand in the world, one of the biggest brands in the world, apparently. Mid-table team, Cristiano Ronaldo sitting on the bench, looking absolutely awful. We're paying ridiculous money for players. Arnautovic and what's the other guy they're going for? Who is actually quite good?
Frankie de Jong.
Sorry,
Frankie de Jong.
No, not Frank. Frankie de Jong's not going to them. No, there's another player who we were in PSG, ex-PSG.
He's going to have to go somewhere because Barcelona have been told that they've got to get their wages in order.
No, Frankie de Jong's not going. No, oh God, I can't remember the other guy. There's a guy who is in Italy at the moment they're going for. So when you've got Arnautovic as your main striker at Manchester United, I think that's what they've gone for him. I think he's even rejected them. So when I look at the process, no, really. And I look at what we've got. We've got Gabriel Jesus that's come in. We've got all these great players. We've got this great pace that's going in. We've got the likes of Charlie Patino going out to Hull, which I think is an amazing thing for it. We've got Cuffley, whatever his name is, has just signed a new contract. When I see that Hale End piece that's going through, and I look at what Manchester United did, I just see us 5 years ago, potentially. Rabiot, that's it. So, Rabiot, great player. Absolutely. I think he's a great player. Just a bit of a Guendouzi about him with an attitude perspective. So when I see that at Manchester United, and honestly, Honestly, my memories, my real memories of Arsenal are those battles that we had with Vieira and Keane and the Invincibles against Manchester United and how much I hate them. That Ryan Giggs goal that broke my bloody heart that, put them through the Champions League. There's that stuff that sits behind it, but that absolutely drives me mad. And I see this team now, and I see where Manchester United are now. To me, it kind of breaks my heart because it's that rivalry, that Premiership piece that sits back, that Wenger-Ferguson kind of era going head to head. And now, I don't see them as this. I see Man City as the issue. I see Liverpool as the issue, potentially Newcastle as well coming in. So when I look at these, I look at that element of gameplay that sits behind it. I think it's just really bad management. So Sean, going back to, it's a long thing. Oh, what do you think? What do you think from an Arsenal perspective where we're at right now? Because we've kind of cleared through and there's a process in place. I think I can see it. Can you see it? Did you agree with me?
With what you were saying there about the memory of obviously how the United Arsenal things and actually being sad when you see what's happening to United, fuck them. They they made their own mess, same as Arsenal had to put up with 10 years making their own mess. It's nobody is entitled to be in that position. They have to work for it. Liverpool are not there by accident. Chelsea are not there by accident. City are not there by accident. Anyone who says that they've just bought it, that's absolute bollocks, and you don't know anything about football. You can't just buy it because you can throw lots of money at this stuff. It won't matter. It won't matter because you'll bring in all the wrong people. And you'll get all the wrong people to do those jobs. Is that
not what's happened at Manchester United? That fading element of it. Ferguson's gone.
Exactly they've had
five or six managers that have come in now. We're sitting there. So, and actually, do you know what? Let's take it out of it because ultimately there's a great tradition here at Manchester United. There's a great tradition in Manchester clubs. Don't get me wrong. I'm loving North London. Mate, it's all about North London.
From a football history, sort of loving the game point of view, I understand what you're saying. But you can't just throw money at this problem; it won't work.
No, you can't. And I think Ten Hag has got a very, very difficult job. Don't get me wrong. Like, I want us to tear them a new sound hole. Like, seriously, I want us to go in there and absolutely annihilate them. And get in every team that ever turns up in front of us. That's what I want us to do. I want to go in there. But to me, it was damning. It was damning to see that Welbeck caused that many problems for Manchester United. And again, I know you and I had a little bit of a chat about Welbeck. I just wish he'd have stayed. I know he's injury prone, but just having that capability to come in, I loved him. I loved him for what he did.
He's ended up sort of like a club hopper, hasn't he? That he'll get an injury and then he has to move on. I think from a sort of like watching that United Brighton game, I'd say that like with Brentford last year on Arsenal's first game of the season, when they'd looked at that and gone Brighton at home, there have been lots of United fans that went, "Oh, lovely little one that." There would have been lots of United fans in the know who've been watching it for the past couple of years and had been watching it for many previous years to that who would have gone, that might be one of the worst teams we could get first day of the season.
Yeah.
Brighton were organised,
Yeah.
Potter's got a bright future ahead of him, providing somebody gives him a move up the ladder within the next couple of years. Because the problem is,
I don't think he will.
The problem is that if you stay somewhere, unless you are consistently doing it, it's hard because the only way you can go is down. They're not going to win the league.
Well, let's maybe some petrodollars come in. But listen, mate, we're at the top of the hour. I want to say, Sean, thank you so much yet again for just a great chat. Thank you again to your good lady for letting me come around and do it. Remember, I cannot wait. Saturday. Oh my God, I cannot wait to be in there screaming and shouting and swearing in multiple languages and stuff like that. And I want to thank everybody that's just been on today. Just thank you so much for all the messages, all the support, the whole lot. Remember, guys, we've got the history coming up with Melvin. We've got the socials coming up with Adam. We've got the fan interviews. Leicester versus Leicester fan on. I can't wait. And then, of course, at the game, I'm going to be giddy with excitement, teenager going on his first date at the back row of the cinema. That's how I'm feeling right now. But look, want to say thank you to all the fans. Thank you to all the support that we've got, and thank you more importantly, and thank you to Sean. I'm going to leave you one question, right? And I'm going to leave it with one open one that you know. I know this is something that's really dear to your heart, Sean. Instruments at football games. Talk to me. Be nice. Be nice. No swearing. So Sean is not an advocate. Like we've been talking about this.
Why would you do it? Why would you do it? Like if I turned up to a stadium with my piano or a guitar, start playing away, you look around, you go, "What the fuck is he doing?" But it's all right to turn up with a trumpet. Like, what? No, hang on a minute. Here's my tuba. Like, get out. Get in the bin. It's not okay. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Guys, bring us many instruments. Send us pictures of instruments at football. The great thing that goes on.
Don't.
But listen, love to everybody. Love to everybody. Listen, North London's going to be red yet again. I cannot genuinely wait until Saturday. I'm so excited. I'm going to have another glass of wine. I'm right up there. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for everybody that was here today. Send us in your requests for anything you want us to talk about. I don't care. I really don't care what it is, as long as it's sort of semi-Arsenal related. And I'm looking forward to another amazing. If it's 5-0, oh my God, I'm going to wear my shirt back to front on Tuesday. That's how crazy I'm feeling right now. Have a great one, guys. Thank you so much. Listen to the other shows that are going on, and respect to all of you.
Have a good one. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.
Take care.